We begin at the country club, where Dany and Nicole have a chance encounter and a much-needed catch-up. Nicole explains that Jacob made Leslie's assault charges go away, while Dany simply can't believe Nicole actually got physical with someone. "Aren't we a great example for our kids?" Dany asks with a laugh. "My demure older sister brawling in front of witnesses," Dany says. "I wish I'd seen this side of you when we were growing up." Nicole is still mortified by her behavior, but Dany is proud enough for both of them. She's also proud of Nicole for chewing out Bill over the Martin situation. The sisters part ways, with Nicole heading into the dining room to have lunch with her grandchildren. With all the fresh chaos in their lives, she figures that Tyrell and Samantha could use a normal afternoon with their grandmother. Right away, they ask Nicole to convince Smitty to let Martin move back home. Tonight. Nicole says it's not that easy, explaining that their parents still have a lot to work through. Tyrell accuses everyone of leaving part of the story out, including Nicole. She tells them that it's easy to think you're being left in the dark when life is confusing, but everything their parents have told them is out of love. Dany heads home, where she does a little day drinking with Pamela, who's loaded with questions about what's happening with Dany's family, specifically Martin and Smitty. Dany sidesteps her queries, but Pamela says she'll be there when Dany needs a friend's ear. Dany believes Martin and Smitty will survive, because love doesn't go away just because a husband does something disappointing. With a little liquid courage, Pamela reveals that she's been making some calls, and she can confirm that multiple fashion houses are interested in hiring Dany as their spokesperson. "And we are talking major bucks," she says. "I know you have reservations about returning to the runway. I just decided to ignore them." Pamela gasses Dany up, reminding her that she's still a big deal, and when Dany gets a look at the numbers being thrown their way, she's speechless. "Pamela, I have a mirror," she says. "I know that my face isn't what it used to be in my prime, nor is my body for that matter." Then comes some much-needed brutal honesty from Pamela. "You didn't quit modeling because of your age. You quit because you wanted a man who wanted you off the runway and on his arm. You loved him, I know. So you chose to put yourself second to Bill and his career. It is time, my darling, to put yourself first." When Dany refuses, Pamela calls for backup, and in comes Andre with his camera in hand. Dany protests for about 5 seconds before caving in and having a blast. Easily her best photo shoot since she had those mugshots taken, if you ask us. Meanwhile, Chelsea and Kat are hard at work on their line, but Kat is too preoccupied by the Thomas and Eva of it all to focus on work. "I just don't understand why he's always all about her," Kat says. Chelsea tells her to accept that Eva isn't going anywhere, thinking that Kat is talking about Eva and Ted. When Kat corrects her sister, Chelsea is surprised. Kat places the blame on Eva, saying that she's been drawing Tomas into her sticky web from day one, and Chelsea backs her up. "If you want him, he's yours, okay? Eva is no match for you. Period." Kat then places an angry phone call, telling the person on the other line, "Can you come over? We obviously need to talk." Just like that, Tomas shows up at the studio to clear his name, telling Kat that he didn't sleep with Eva. Kat tells him not to insult her intelligence by saying he doesn't have feelings for Eva, and he tells Kat not to make him confess to something he didn't do. He also admits that he sympathizes with Eva, understanding her difficult position in all of this Dupree madness. Tomas says he and Eva are friends. That's it, while his feelings for Kat have never been in question. He has, however, questioned Kat's feelings for him. "Sometimes I wonder if you and I are together because you like me, or because you think Eva does, and you're trying to stick it to her," he explains. She admits that, from Tomas's perspective, it may seem that way. She knows she can be a handful, but Tomas makes her feel something she's never felt before. And that can be exciting, but also scary. "I'm crazy about you, but as much as I care, and much as I want this to work, I can't be a point in a triangle with you and Eva," she tells him. He says she's not a point. She's at the center of what he's always wanted. That's when they stop talking and start kissing. "If you want me, you can have me," Kat says, coming up for air. "All of me." Tomas says he's never wanted another woman more in his life. And he and Kat proceed to have sex on the couch. She seems ready, But the troubled look on her face after the deed is done has us wondering if she really thought this through. Naomi and June are grabbing a bite at Orphe Jeans, and we're happy to report that June is looking like a new woman. Her manners could use a little work, as she yells at the waitress to hurry over from across the diner. But she can work on that later. Baby steps. Curiously, June offers to pay for the meal, pulling a wad of cash out of her purse and telling the waitress to keep the change. She also slaps the waitress' hand away when she reaches to look at the family photo June places on the table. The whole meal has a pretty chaotic energy to it, frankly. Naomi asks to look at the photo again herself, and June obliges, but their discussion is interrupted by the arrival of Fairmont Crest's favorite pariah. June gives Naomi a hug and heads out, giving Naomi and Haley their space. Haley says she's worried that someone close to both of them may have done something criminal. "My husband, your father. Tell me straight, Naomi. Did he kill somebody?" Naomi does her best to dance around Haley's questions, though she's surprised to learn that Nicole would loudly accuse Bill of murder in his own house. "Even if I did know something, I don't think it's my place to share it with you," Naomi tells Haley. "It's your marriage, and if your husband has something he thinks you should know, he'll tell you. But if you can't be open with each other, that's your problem, not mine." Haley says it's hard to believe she and Naomi were ever friends, and Naomi feels the same way. When Haley says she doesn't believe Bill is a criminal, Naomi reminds her that she doesn't know Bill as well as she thinks she does. "That man has layers buried so deep, and not all of them are pretty," Naomi warns her. "What are you saying? That your father is a murderer?" Haley asks. Naomi says she'll need to get answers directly from Bill. Then she ends the conversation and walks away. Naomi is then joined by Jacob, who reveals that he got an address for the phone number on June's photo. Naomi decides to pay them a visit, partially for June but also for herself. "I'm dying to know who these kids are," she says, thinking about June's mysterious photo. Taking Naomi's advice, Haley brings her concerns to a very busy Bill, who finally takes enough of a break to actually look his wife in the eye. "Why in God's name was Nicole so mad at you, and how does murder fit into it?" she asks. Bill does his best to downplay the night's events, telling Haley as much as he wants her to know. She can tell he's keeping something from her, but he says this really isn't his story to tell. "I believe what you're saying, and I'm done with my questions," Haley says. "I love you, and that's what matters." Bill reminds Haley that he'd never hurt her or put her in danger. If he ever keeps details of his day from her, it's just so he doesn't burden her. He also says that he doesn't commit murder. "Killing is a fool's pastime," he says. "I'm much smarter than that." Haley says she knows Bill is smart and he'll be there for her and their unborn child. "No one is putting anything over on my husband," she says. This week, one Beyond the Gates character pushed me right over the edge, like, to the point that I'm ready for him to exit stage left. But before we talk about that, let me share that this will be my last soapbox column. We here at Soaps have come to realize that there's more to be gained by writing opinion pieces on a more regular basis. We have a lot to say, then reserving them for this once-a-week column. So read on for this final soapbox, then stay tuned for future fun. I nominate Tomas to be the first whodunit victim on Beyond the Gates. There's certainly no lack of suspects. Perhaps my beloved Kat and her rival sister Eva can join forces to do away with the rat. Or maybe Dany can fulfill her promise to take Tomas down if he hurt her favorite niece. Heck, maybe Ted will step up to the plate and do right by both his daughters. I don't care who, and I don't care how. I want Thomas 6 feet under Orphe Jeans. I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. That man does not deserve to be at the center of a triangle. That's doubly true when Kat and Eva are the other angles on the triangle. Look, I'm Team Kat always, but I think Eva deserves better than a slimy Bill Hamilton wannabe who will see her on the side while dating Catherine Dupree Richardson for the prestige. And even if he chooses one of the sisters as his true heart's desire, is that winning? No, because he's no prize. You might be thinking that Eva is also a liar. That is true, and I can't believe I'm about to defend her, but she was manipulated by her mother for her whole life. She didn't know that Ted was unaware of her existence while she was conspiring to wreck his life. Her current actions, like lying by omission about Leslie harming Laura notwithstanding, we understand what motivates her. It will take her a while to learn. Tomas, on the other hand, he has no such excuse. My poor, sweet, snobby, but sincere Catherine gave up her virginity to a man who was kissing her sister the day before. That's something she can never come back from. Heartbreaking. She chose poorly, and her face afterwards told a tale of regret. My only hope is that her true love, soaps still do the super couple thing, right? Will arrive on the scene eventually and make the occasion of their first time together so wonderful that she'll forget about the fact she gave herself to Tomas first. Please know that if no one on Earth hates Tomas, I'm relocating to the moon. I can't be alone in this. Get Dany Dupree a real man stat. No flim-flam man, no lightweights, no Bill Hamilton, no bums. Ditto for Nicole. Speaking of whom, I love her angry side. Anybody else get chills during her showdown with Bill, which might have been because of the wildly inappropriate chemistry between the pair. Jacob's goody two-shoes act is wearing thin. I root for good people on soaps, but he's pushing my limits. I'll be interested to see the man Martin is without this huge secret hanging over his head. I'm sick of Naomi talking to Haley for more than a second. I'm doubly sick of Haley always wondering why their friendship was wrecked. Naomi should just put it on a card. Signed, sealed, delivered. Now go. Beyond the Gates spoilers from Monday, July 28th to Friday, August 1st. A stranger may hold the answers Naomi is looking for. June faces her past, and the Duprees make plans for the Articulettes' reunion concert. Plus, Haley works to get Bill to disconnect from his former family. Read on for that and more ahead for Fairmont Crest Beyond the Gates, spoilers for Monday, July 28th. Kat&Tomas may have taken things to the next level, but she's not being completely honest with him. In what way? Listen in as she tells Chelsea, Leslie has a whole lot of nerve, because she's about to ask Ted for a favor. Naomi's search for answers leads her to a woman named Regina. Is this June's sibling? Beyond the Gates, spoilers for Tuesday, July 29th. Andre takes Ashley on a trip. Truths may be revealed as June gets into it with someone from her past. Then men in Vanessa's life, that would be Joey and Doug, to narrow the field, are making it difficult for her to keep the peace. Beyond the Gates, spoilers for Wednesday, July 30th. Nicole told Bill that she was going to be the family's fixer from now on. But can she help Martin repair the damage done to his marriage? With the big concert rapidly approaching, Vernon does what he can to calm Anita. It ain't easy to shock Dany, but one of her daughters does, before getting some good advice. Beyond the Gates, spoilers for Thursday, July 31st. The day before the reunion concert, Anita winds up butting heads with the other members of the group. Will the show be able to go on? The Dupree sisters scheme for the greater good. Vernon slips into patriarch role as he has a heartfelt talk with great-grandson Tyrell. Beyond the Gates, spoilers for Friday, August 1st. Derek is about to be as honest as he can be with Ashley, even if it hurts. The Duprees get ready for the Articulates' reunion concert. Haley wants to be the focus of Bill's attention, but can she really get him to cut ties with the past? Beyond the Gates, spoilers for Monday, July 28th, suggest some interesting moments in Fairmont Crest. Catherine "Kat" Richardson has a secret, while Leslie Thomas has a request. Plus, Naomi Hamilton looks for answerers. Read on to learn more about what's coming up on the CBS soap. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Monday, July 28th, reveal that Kat will confide in Chelsea Hamilton about a secret she's kept from Thomas Navarro. Considering she and Thomas are hanging on a thread, this is not a good sign at all. Will Chelsea advise Kat to come clean to Thomas? Only time will tell. Across town, Leslie will have a favor to ask from Ted Richardson. What could this be about, and will she ask him to throw Nicole Richardson under the bus? Jacob Hawthorne is investigating Leslie's claim that Nicole attacked her, something that Ted witnessed. Will Leslie hope that Ted will come forward and tell the police what he saw? Then again, knowing Leslie, could this be an attempt to seduce Ted? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Naomi Hamilton is looking for answers beyond the gates. Spoilers for Monday imply that Naomi will look for answers. In fact, she'll meet up with someone named Regina. Will she provide the information that Naomi is looking for? This sounds like it could center around June. There is a huge mystery surrounding June and where she comes from, and Naomi is bound and determined to get to the bottom of things. Will she inch closer to finding out more about June's past and where she is from? Will she be linked to someone in Fairmont Crest? Could she be an unknown Dupree? Here are your Beyond the Gates spoilers for next week. Leslie tells Eva the fighting has just begun. Andre and Ashley try again, and the Articulates take the stage amidst drama. Here's a look ahead at the episodes we'll see from Monday, July 28th to Friday, August 1st, 2025. Eva is at her mother's place, and she tells Leslie that she is tired of all the fighting. Fighting with Kat is draining. Leslie scoffs and tells her that she is her sister. The fighting has just begun. Leslie has no plans, no new schemes, and once again, the Scarlet Woman is going to run amok in Fairmont Crest, targeting the Duprees. They better not think they can organize a reunion concert without Leslie adding her special touch. For Kat, there is no scenario in which Leslie and Eva are simply living their lives and not scheming. Kat goes to see her father and tries to get him to understand that they are two sides of the same coin and that he cannot trust either of them. Kat tells Ted that Eva and Leslie are still here, trying to ruin our lives every chance that they get. Ted knows that Leslie is like this, but he just cannot see Eva the way that Kat does. Will Eva go along with her mom's next plot and prove Kat right? Dany runs into Andre at Vernon and Anita's house and wonders what brings him there. Andre has a sly smile on his face, and Dany questions him about just hanging out in her parents' foyer, asking him if he is there to ask for her dad's hand in marriage. That's got to be a joke, or Dany might be just the slightest bit delusional. Ashley is dressed up, and it looks like take two is here. Ashley is on a date with Andre, and she walks in, immediately impressed by the effort Andre has put into the date. There are candles, and the table is set. The fireplace is lit, and Andre takes her hand as they get ready to see if date number 2 can be a hit for both of them. It can't be worse than the first fiasco at Uptown. Let's see if romance blooms. Reminiscing ahead of the big night that's almost here, Naomi, Chelsea, Kat, and Samantha are proudly watching footage of Anita performing back in the day. Kat tells the group of ladies that every time she sees videos of the Articulates in their heyday, "That's our grandma," Naomi adds. It still blows your mind, doesn't it? Get ready, soap fans. The reunion concert is only a week away, and nothing in Fairmont Crest ever comes easy. Leslie looks set to throw her particular brand of spanners in the works. Can Sharon, Tracy, and Anita take the stage and give us a blast from the past, despite their differences? A night to remember is almost upon us. This week on Beyond the Gates, Nicole learned about what happened to her son 2 years ago. Plus, Martin told her about the bigoted busboy's murder. As a result, Nicole confronted Bill and made sure he was aware that there was a new fixer in town. Meanwhile, Tomas proved he had no love for Kat, and while Eva temporarily enjoyed his company, she came to her senses. In addition, the Articulates made up. And now the concert is back on. BTG experiences a milestone the week of July 28th to August 1st, the show's 100th episode. Barring any last-minute preemptions, BTG airs the episode on Tuesday, July 29th. However, it is the Friday, August 1st episode that marks the beginning of the Articulates' comeback concert. And on Thursday, July 31st, the Dupree sisters scheme together. Finally, it's becoming clear that Haley is attempting to isolate Bill from the Duprees. What's her agenda? And more importantly, what's her backstory? Inquiring minds would like to know. Monday, July 28. Kat admits to Chelsea that she is hiding something from Tomas. Leslie asks an irate Ted for a favor. Naomi meets up with a woman named Regina, who may have the answers she seeks. Tuesday, July 29th, Andre takes Ashley on a trip. June confronts someone from her past. Vanessa struggles to keep the peace between Joey and Doug. Wednesday, July 30th, Martin needs Nicole's help in order to save his marriage. Vernon does his best to assuage Anita's fears. A shocked Dany gives her daughter some tough advice. Thursday, July 31st, Anita locks horns with Sharon and Tracy before their big day. The Dupree sisters scheme for the greater good. Vernon and Tyrell have a heart-to-heart. Friday, August 1st, Derek is painfully honest with Ashley. The Duprees get ready for the Articulate Set reunion concert. Haley tries to convince Bill to let go of his attachment to his former family. The Beyond the Gates. What to watch moments for Monday, July 25th, 2025, tease that people are keeping secrets while others are revealing all. Kat is hiding something from Tomas. Leslie wants something from Ted, and Naomi could get answers from a mystery woman. Secrets are about to explode. Are you ready? Monday picks up with the drama, full steam ahead. Kat tells Chelsea that she's keeping something big from Tomas. We know what that could be. Kat tracked her half-sister's location, which brought her to her hotel room. Ava and Tomas were doing more than just studying. They were getting hot and heavy with each other. Now Kat is pretending that she never saw them together. She wants to move on from that moment, but she can't. What will Chelsea think? Will she advise Kat to move on, even if they're not exclusive, like Tomas said? It's a day that ends with why, which means that Leslie is up to something. She's been planning her next revenge plot. She wants something from Ted. Will Ted accept her favor, or will he steer clear of the woman who ruined his life? Naomi will meet with a woman named Regina, who has the answers she is looking for. What will Naomi find, and what will she do with this information? So far, she's been looking into a sexual harassment case against her father's firm. She could finally get the proof that she's looking for. Of course, this could lead to more complications in their already fragile relationship. In the Friday, July 25th episode of Beyond the Gates, Andre and Pamela help boost Dany's confidence. Nicole sits down with her grandkids to listen to their concerns. Haley worries that Bill's a murderer, and Kat jumps into bed with Tomas. Yes, she lost her virginity to a man who's gaslighting her all over the place. Tomas continued to prove he isn't a good person. After Kat summoned Tomas to the guest house, Kat confronted Tomas about his being in Eva's hotel room. As usual, he turned everything back on Kat, and towards the end of this confrontation, she ranted about how she knows she's a handful and doesn't always say the right things. She could see how he could have misread her intentions or her feelings from his end, and she made a declaration about how much she was into him. Meanwhile, he told her she was the woman for him, even though he had just been making out with Eva and saying pretty much the same thing to her. What was really maddening was when Tomas told Kat that he didn't know if she was into him because she liked him or that she wanted to stick it to Eva. Kat and Tomas were flirting and getting to know each other before Eva truly entered the picture. And honestly, it was more like Eva tried to make Kat jealous. But thankfully, Eva finally came to her senses on Thursday. That's how it looked, at least. After Tomas blabbed all of Kat's business to Eva and almost had sex with her, the fact that he and Kat ended up doing the deed was awful and unfortunate. And it seemed like she might already have buyer's remorse. The look on her face gave off regretful vibes. Did Kat come to her senses? We hope that at some point, Kat and Eva compare notes and find out what Tante has been saying to both women. We would approve of a temporary peace treaty so the half-sisters could deal with the Tom's problem. Then, they could resume their fierce rivalry. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday, July 25th suggest some massive moments on the horizon as fans head into the weekend. Dany Dupree gets an offer she can't refuse, while Haley Hamilton feels like her hubby's in trouble. Plus, Tyrell Richardson and Samantha Richardson feel betrayed. Read on to learn more about what's coming up on the CBS soap. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday, July 25th imply that Pamela Curtis will present an offer to her bestie Dany. So what is this about? The two ladies are on the cusp of opening up their own modeling agency. So is Pamela's proposal about business or pleasure? Is she hoping to iron out an agreement with Dany's modeling contract and the company, or is she proposing something like a girls' trip out of Fairmont Crest so that Dany can clear her head? Only time will tell. Across town, Haley will wonder if her hubby is in deeper trouble than she thinks. Spoiler alert, Haley, he is! Bill Hamilton plays the role of an esteemed lawyer to his wife and most of Fairmont Crest. However, fans have learned that Bill has a shady and dark side. As he was the one who pushed the button on Kenny's demise, if Martin Richardson's secret ever came out, Bill would be in a very messy situation. Speaking of, Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday remind fans that Martin told his twins, Tyrell and Samantha, the sanitized version of the Kenny story. However, as the days went by this week, both of them felt as if they hadn't heard the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Added BTG teasers imply that they will hear it all and feel very betrayed. Samantha has been Team Martin in this situation and shown her dad a ton of grace. Meanwhile, Tyrell has sided with their dad, Bradley Smitty Smith. With that said, will Samantha switch her perspective and see Smitty's point of view when she learns the entire story? Beyond the Gates sees Eva Thomas versus Catherine Kat Richardson situation. We're going to discuss who is the real bad girl on BTG between these two. Who's the real she-villain in this? So, we all know Kat grew up with everything, including a really good mom and dad, Dr. Nicole Dupree Richardson and Dr. Ted Richardson. But let's face it, when you grow up like that, you don't always turn out as a humble person. Kat is a spoiled brat beyond a doubt. I don't think that she's ever gone without one thing that she's ever needed. I don't think she's ever gone without one thing she's ever wanted. You know, lucky her. And this issue that's cropped up with Ted and Nicole, and Dana Leslie Thomas, and then Eva coming into their lives. I think this is really the first time Kat's had any hardship ever. She has led a very charmed life, and that's nice for her. Let's flip over and talk about her half-sister, though. Eva grew up with very little in her life by comparison. Money was really tight, and she had an insane mom, Leslie, who fed her lies her whole entire life about her dad, Ted. Eva was told that Ted didn't want her, when in fact Leslie was lying, and Ted never even knew about her. You know, he thought that had all been water under the bridge. And yeah, absolutely Eva crossed lines as part of Leslie's evil plan. Then again, Eva only did those things because her mom had thoroughly gaslit her. You know, Leslie told her horrible things about Ted not wanting her and Nicole being terrible, and Kat having a dad where Eva did not. I mean, bottom line, Leslie's awful. The actress is so good though, but she's really awful. So once Eva realized that Leslie had been lying to her, you know, that broke her whole scheming vibe. And really, even before that, Eva had pretty much stopped as much as she could. Because once she got to know Nicole, she realized, okay, things are not as they seem. Things are not as I have been told. And she started to ask a lot of questions. And that got Leslie really mad, who just wanted Eva to be her minion. And yeah, once the fallout happened at Ted and Nicole's anniversary party, Eva did still try and protect her mom to some extent. But she also doesn't know all the horrible things, the murderous things that her mom has done. She doesn't, I think, want to think about that too much, that her mom's a fully attempted murderer. And if you remember, also Leslie kicked Eva out right after that party, which was horrible. You know, she was basically living out of her car, and then Ted helped her out. So, what I see is two young women from very different backgrounds, and I see that Eva is willing to reevaluate what she's been told about people, and that's despite a whole lifetime of being gaslit and told these people were villains. Meanwhile, Kat can't see beyond herself, not as far as I can see. They've written her as the ultimate brat. She is very well written, but that is definitely her character. I mean, prime example of that is Kat setting up her dad, Ted's business, to be at risk. She put livelihoods at risk, put her dad's professional standing on the line, all to make Eva look bad. Kat didn't even stop to think, should I be doing this? She just did it. And it was just blatantly wrong. And bottom line, Kat was jealous that Eva got the job that Kat had quit. She walked away from it. She didn't want it anymore. It was a really low move. And it kind of reminds me in Cinderella when she puts together a dress for some old junk that the stepsisters didn't want, and they ripped it off of her because they didn't want her to have it. You know, that's kind of the vibe. By comparison, Eva has gone over to Nicole's office to help Laura out a lot. And Eva did it without agenda. She was truly being helpful. She didn't even want Nicole to know she was helping out because she felt so guilty for what she'd done. And Eva was trying to make amends, even without Nicole knowing that was happening. Back to the stuff with Ted's office. Eva cleaned up the mess Kat made that she had done intentionally. And although Eva threatened to tell Ted what Kat did, she didn't. She did not throw Kat under the bus, even though Kat was totally trash-talking Eva to Ted. And with all that happening, I think it was fair to ask, okay, is Eva going after Tomas Tom Navarro to punish Kat, get some payback? Thing is, Tomas had already tapped the brakes with Kat because she was making him uncomfortable at times. One thing that really bothered Tomas was just the nasty behavior. The way that Kat was treating her sister, the things that she was saying about her. You know, more than one person told Kat, "Don't be this way. Eva is also a victim of Leslie's." Ted and Nicole have both warned Kat and asked Kat to ease off. But you know, she didn't and she's not. And both of these young women have been written to me very well. Eva is giving off that wrong side of the tracks vibe of somebody who wants a better life and is willing to work hard. And Kat, of course, is spoiled. She doesn't care about anybody but herself and her immediate family and what she wants. Back to Tomas. You know, he was into Kat. That was clear, and vice versa. They had a lot of shared common interest, a genuine friendship. Meanwhile, for Kat, I kind of feel like Tomas just checked boxes for her. He's hot, he's a lawyer, he's on a path to success, and he's a nice guy. I'm not entirely sure that Kat likes Tomas, or if Kat likes the idea of Tomas on Beyond the Gates. And to be fair, Eva sat on Kat framing her until Tomas pressed, and then she spilled the beans to him about Kat doing her dirty. And let's also be clear, Eva could have had Tomas in her bed this week, you know, stripped off doing the deed. He was ready to do with her what he did not do with Kat. But I was actually really glad that Eva stopped it. She told Tomas she's not going to be a side piece. She saw how badly that went for Leslie. I mean, her mom's a psycho, but still, she's also a cautionary tale. Tomas insisted that he and Kat aren't exclusive, but I don't remember that conversation, first of all. You know, I don't remember them laying that out. And as much as Eva likes Tomas, I was cheering when she told him she deserves better than being a pick-me and gave him the book and then showed him the door. And of course, Kat's gonna run back to Daddy Ted and tell him, "Eva stole my man." What I kind of would like is for Kat to find out is Eva could have had her man, but turned him down, which would kind of double sting since Kat tried to give Tomas her V-card and he turned her down. As to who's in the wrong, it's interesting. You know, initially, with Eva doing Leslie's dirty work, she was 100% in the wrong. Eva admitted to Kat that she had been right about her. You know, I do think that Kat, though, is wrong to not give Eva the chance to do better. But also, I don't think Kat's ever going to give her a chance. I can't think what Eva could do at this point to get Kat to treat her like anything but poop under her shoe. I'm sure Ted's going to keep trying to get Kat to be decent to Eva. I also think Kat's going to keep trying to get Ted to turn his back on Eva, but I don't think he's going to do it. He's a decent guy, and he knows he's got decades to make up for missing out on Eva's life through no fault of his own. I think Ted, because of that guilt, is always going to give Eva the benefit of the doubt. That's going to drive Kat crazy. She went from being Daddy's girl, you know, his only girl, to one of two. And as Eva said, Kat is brimming with main character energy. She can't share the stage. She doesn't want to share her dad. I don't blame her for not wanting to share her man. I'm just not entirely sure that Tomas is her man. What's interesting to me, deep down, without Leslie's influence, Eva's pretty nice, even though she's had a rough life and lots of reasons to be hard. Meanwhile, Kat's got every advantage and no reason to be mean. But that's her default mode.